new palace of Westminster, believe it or not. It doesn't look very new.
Hi,
It was finished in
Anna.
the 1860s.
How?
Called new because there used to be a medieval palace where this one stood. It burned down by the MPs themselves, silly people. They were burning ballot sticks and kind of got a bit out of hand. And people were on the other side of the bridge yelling, "Burn, Parliament, burn." Oopsies. Anyway, so there's two towers there. We've got Victoria Tower, which is the one that's got the flag at the top, named after Queen Victoria, who was the queen at the time. The other tower is not Big Ben. In fact, you can't actually see Big Ben. If you think you can see Big Ben, you must have X-ray vision, because it's the bell inside the tower that's called Big Ben. The tower itself is Elizabeth Tower, after Queen Elizabeth II. Named that way in 2012 only, so very recently. Before that, it was just a clock tower. Now you've got two tents with two colours on our right. One is green and one is red, and I told you to notice the green bridge and the red bridge. The House of Commons inside the building is green, and the House of Lords inside the building is red. So that's the eating and drinking areas. They don't pay tax on alcohol in there, so a pint of beer is 89p, and we have to pay a whole like £4 something. Cheeky. So if you want to get free drinks or cheap drinks when you grow up, become an MP. Those steps going into the river are the Black Rod Steps, the only remnant of the medieval Palace of Westminster. They were the Traitor's Steps, so you'd go down them if you're about to be taken to the tower. You'd go down on a barge, and an axeman would be with you, behind you. If the axe was facing towards your neck, you would be executed. If the axe was facing away from your neck, you'd be tortured and imprisoned. It was a form of public humiliation. We don't do that now because of the attackers, so you don't need barges and axemen anymore. These three identical buildings you can see in front of us are the Florence Nightingale wards, part of St Thomas's Hospital, designed by Florence Nightingale herself. There used to be 7 buildings nicknamed after each day of the week. We've only got Friday, Saturday and Sunday left now. So if you get ill, don't get ill on a weekday, or else no one will see you. I'm joking, obviously. Or maybe I might, who knows. So more about the clock tower. If anyone doesn't know why Big Ben is called Big Ben, you will find out now. The bell is rather large and rather fat. Sir Benjamin Hall, the man who was overseeing the building of the Houses of Parliament, was also fat and tall. So when the bell got delivered, the builders decided to nickname it Big Ben after their boss, and it stuck. So poor Sir Benjamin Hall, immortalised because of his largeness. Big Ben's got a crack down the middle of it because of where it rings. So there used to be one Big Ben. It got hoisted up by 73 people because it took that many people to pull it up, and the hammer that they used to ring the hour was too heavy, so it had a crack. They sent it back down, remade it, sent it back up, got a new hammer. It was still too heavy, and they really didn't want to hoist it back down and up again, so they rotated it 180 degrees. So the one we've got now rings ever so slightly off E on an E flat instead of an E. The rings that you hear every 15 minutes are the Westminster chimes, not Big Ben. And this bridge was used by the Commons to cross to work. They had a guard on this side of the bridge. If you were a lord crossing this bridge, you'd be sent back home for the day. They wanted to avoid bribery and corruption. I don't think it worked very well. The building to our left, the stripy building with the brick work there, is the old Scotland Yard building. That's where the Metropolitan Police Force was formed by Sir Robert Peel. That's why we call the policemen bobbies or peelers. No longer where they are anymore, not the police force. It is a police force museum, but only members of the police force can actually go to the museum, which is quite sad. I wish I could go. Not a policewoman though. Also, where Sherlock Holmes would have gotten his assignments from in the novels is that building. The London Eye on our right is one of the tallest observation wheels in the world. The tallest cantilevered observation wheel. Cantilevered means its supports come from behind it. So you've got the two big legs, they support the eye from behind it rather than a leg either side. It's 135 metres, 443 feet, And it has 32 capsules around it because we have 32 boroughs in London. You can do all sorts of things on the eye. You can get champagne, get a glass of champagne as you go around. You can get wine tasting, whiskey tasting. My favourite's chocolate tasting. Or you can get married on the eye. They decorate your capsule with lots of flowers. Your registrar comes on with you. You say I do at the top, and then it's all downhill after that, quite literally and figuratively, maybe. We're gonna go under a set of bridges. The two that you see people walking on are the Golden Jubilee bridges, built for the Queen's 50th year on the throne. They were a bit late though. Instead of it being finished in 2002, they were finished a year later because they found an undetonated Second World War bomb on the riverbed. So they had to move the bomb in case it was active and it destroyed the bridge in between. The bridge in between is a Hungerford Bridge, and it's a rail bridge. It goes from Charing Cross Station, which is to your left. On our right is the South Bank Centre. It's a collection of performing spaces. The Royal Festival Hall's the biggest there. There's also an art gallery kind of to the back that you'll spot in a second because there are slides going down the side of the gallery. And those slides, you can actually exit the building using those slides if you've gone to see the exhibition, which is quite cool. And there's a boat on a roof. It's not a shipwreck. It's not that we had really crappy weather, which we did, and it got lost. It's a hotel room. It's called A View for London. You can enter a lottery and stay there. Though if you win, you still have to pay £350. Not much of a win in my opinion. And only 2 people can stay there. We're going to go under Waterloo Bridge. Quite a special bridge. The only fact I'll tell you on this journey, I'll tell you more about it on the return, is that it's the longest bridge in London. And if you look under it, it looks rather dirty. Notice that. Keep that in your mind for later. The Royal National Theatre is on our right. Looks like the backside of a nuclear power station, said Prince Charles. It kind of does. It's got 3 auditoriums. The Olivier, the Dorfman and the Littleton. The Olivier is named after Sir Laurence Olivier, who was the first artistic director. You can get tickets for £15 on the day. Just rock up to the theatre, see what's on, and if you fancy seeing it, you should be able to get tickets. It's also got a bee farm on the roof because they're trying to preserve bee life around here. So you can buy honey made from those bees in the bookshop. A bit random, but also quite nice. If you're more of a TV fan, ITV Studios are on our right now. It says ITV on the white building. There's 9 studios there. You can watch something being filmed for free if you check the website, enter your name. That's free, so if you win, you do get to see something being filmed. Also, quite a lot of celebrity spotting happens around here. And if you fancy a beach holiday, don't need to go far. We've got a very own beach in London, Gabriel's Wharf, which is to your right. Who needs the Barbados when you've got this lovely beach here? Obviously only visible on low tide. So when the tide rises, it disappears. A sand sculptor tends to hang around, make massive sculptures, depending on how quickly the tide is rising. Probably building something now. So if you walk here after, you might be able to see some cool sculptures or find some really cool random objects. We do get a lot of people with metal detectors trying to find stuff around here. The brick building on our right that has got handily OXO on it, the OXO building, used to be a meat production and packaging company where OXO cubes were made, OXO stock cubes that you might have in your cupboards. However, we are on royal waters right now, and you can't advertise on a royal highway. So when this building was built, they got in massive trouble. They got taken to court. They got a very good lawyer. He said, hang on a minute, it's not OXO, it's a circle, a square and a circle. The X has nothing to do with OXO. They got away with it somehow, so they've been advertising OXO ever since. At night it lights up, the OXO. Cheeky. On our left you've got the dome of St. Paul's Cathedral that you can spot. The second largest domed cathedral in the world. The first largest is in the Vatican in Rome, St. Peter's Basilica. It's 365 feet high. 1 foot for each day of the year, and it was designed by Sir Christopher Wren, who actually lived to see it finished. It didn't happen very often because these things took ages to be built, but he lived into his 90s, so he got to see his biggest monument being finished. Blackfriars Bridges, we're going to go under now. I'll tell you more about them on the journey back, but notice the invisible bridge coming up in a second. Or not, because it's invisible, you know what I mean.
Oh.
What is it, you might be wanting to ask? Is it where the Hogwarts Express comes? Maybe, maybe not.
Wow.
So more on St Paul's Cathedral. It used to be the tallest building in London until 1964, until the BT Tower came along. And because it was the tallest building in London, during the Second World War, it was purposefully not targeted by the bombers, because that's how they knew they reached London. They followed the river along, but because of the blackouts, they couldn't see if they were in London until they found the dome. So they used it as a reference point. It was Churchill's favourite building, so he used to call every morning from his bunker and check that St Paul's Cathedral was still standing. His funeral actually took place at St Paul's Cathedral, as did Margaret Thatcher's funeral. Prince Charles and Diana got married there. It's nice and big. You can climb up to the top. It's 522 steps though, so it depends how physically fit you feel. And the cross at the top was going to be a pineapple somehow, because pineapples represented prosperity and hospitality. The church said it had to be a cross, but the two smaller towers that you see do have pineapples at the top. So everyone got their wish. The previous St Paul's Cathedral burned down in the Great Fire of London of 1666. After that, thatched roofs got banned in London because of their flammability. The only thatched roof you'll be able to see in London is to your right, at the Globe Theatre. It's a replica of the original, and they had to apply for planning permission to be able to get a thatched roof because of the law. It was finished in 1996, opened in 1997, and believe it or not, no powered tools were used to build the theatre. It was built with Elizabethan tools and methods, so no actual power tools used in the building of the auditorium. You can see a show for as little as £5 if you like your Shakespeare shows. Stand in the courtyard and watch the show happening. It only opens from April on Shakespeare's birthday and closes in October, so it's only open in the summery, warmer months. The old Globe Theatre stands, or used to stand, where it says FT on our right, the Financial Times building. There's a plaque commemorating it in the car park. It burned down, not in the Fire of London, but actors were performing in Henry VIII in the 17th century and fired a live cannon and burned their own theatre down. That's why actors now need props. There's a very famous pub on our right, the Anchor. There's always been a pub here since the 1300s. Charles Dickens used to drink there, Samuel Pepys used to drink there. You can even see Tom Cruise coming out of this pub in Mission Impossible with a pint of beer, or half a pint to keep things in proportion because he is a bit small.
Oh no!
And a pirate ship on our right, the Golden Hind. A replica of Sir Francis Drake's famous ship there. He sailed around the world on it in 1577. By mistake, he took a wrong turning, bless him. Came back with £25 million of treasure though, stolen from the Portuguese and the Spanish. So if anyone's Portuguese or Spanish, thank you, because you managed to pay the country's debts 3 times over. Queen Elizabeth I actually paid Francis Drake to steal treasure, so he wasn't a pirate, he was a privateer, slightly different. The Shard is on our right, tallest building in Western Europe. 72 floors high, 306 meters, and it's got some flats. If you want to buy yourself a flat, there's 2 left. They cost £42 million though, probably why they're left. Now we're going to check how much attention you've been paying on this cruise. Can everyone please point towards London Bridge for me? Whoever pointed behind you, you're right. Whoever pointed in front of you, you are absolutely wrong. That is Tower Bridge. If you don't believe me, on the return journey you can check It's actually carved behind you. It does say London Bridge on every arch. Google actually gets it wrong. If you put London Bridge, it will show you Tower Bridge in the top 10 entries, so don't beat yourself down too much that you've got it wrong. However, in between the two bridges we have something massive and very, very cool. The HMS Belfast, the warship in front of us on our right. Its guns are fully operational, so apparently you could get it ready in 72 hours. It would be ready if it was needed for battle. However, it is currently a floating museum. Under 16s go free, so if you fancy going up there, take your parents, make them pay their fee because you can go free. You can visit every inch of the vessel, nowhere is restricted. You can even sit in the wheel box and sit where the captain used to sit. Pretend you're steering the HMS Belfast. Painted in North Atlantic camouflage, so the colder climate colours. Good lord, they're loud next door on the left. Building as well. So this is a floating museum. It got bought for £1 by the Imperial War Museum. Even bought it for £1, put it where it is. She was going to be scrapped for her metal. Luckily, they didn't scrap it. So the HMS Belfast is called Belfast because she got made or built in the same docks as the Titanic in Belfast. Had a much better fate, as you can see, still standing there.
Yeah.
On our right is the London Assembly and our Lord Mayor's office, City Hall.
Ano?
He calls it the Onion.
Kitty.
Some people call it the Armadillo.
Oh, bili tayo London Bridge.
To me, it looks like a monkey or a boiled egg. Anyway, not much to say about it other than it's got a lot of nicknames. However, Tower Bridge ahead of us opens in the middle. If your vessel is too big to go under, you need to give the bridge 24 hours notice so that the captain can open it for you. So if you want to come tomorrow, check the website and it might open for you if you check the right time. You can do the Tower Bridge experience, means you climb 4 or 5 flights of stairs to the top on the walkway that you can see above us. It's got a glass floor, so you can actually watch the bridge being opened from above. Now if you want to wave at people on this bridge, you can. You will get 5 years good luck if they wave back. So if you get a wave back, oh my goodness, are we not going to get any luck? Oh, last minute. That is a true superstition. The Victorians used this bridge to wave their loved ones away when they sailed. If you waved at your loved one and they managed to wave back, if they spotted you in the crowd, people believed it to be a good omen for your safe returns. That's why we now use it as a good luck bridge. Now we've reached the old port of London. It's gone all quiet all of a sudden. It used to be not so quiet. It used to be the busiest port in the world until the First World War. Boats were stuck next to each other so much that you could cross